views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Welcome to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. Each week, you'll learn how to navigate the global shift of consciousness and explore the deeper knowledge within. Welcome home. Now here's your host, Dr. Kelly Neff.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Kelly Neff, and you are listening to Lucid Planet Radio on Transformation Talk Radio, CRN Digital Talk, and WBLQ 1230 AM, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and New York. Stay with us for the next hour and let us help you experience healing, inspiration, and knowledge, because every week on Lucid Planet Radio, we have some of the most amazing and gifted scientists, healers, speakers, and authors helping you to become the greatest version of yourself. You can find out more at thelucidplanet.com, stream all of the podcasts for free on lucidplanetradio.com, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Stitcher, etc., etc. Just search for Lucid Planet Radio, and you can also connect with me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, The Lucid Planet with Dr. Kelly. And now I'm even on Instagram at The Lucid Planet. And there you can really check into my weird and wonderful adventures through life. So I hope to see you on there. I'm really pleased again to be streaming on CRN Digital Talk Radio, which is bringing us to over 11 million homes in the U.S. and over 100 countries, including 25 stations just in Australia. You can visit the website, again, thelucidplanet.com, to find out how to become an advertising partner, sponsor, how to listen live in your area, and also how to nominate yourself or somebody else to come on the show. I'm always looking for amazing new guests and across a really wide variety of topics. And I just want to say I've been really fortunate this year to welcome quite a few really incredible and inspiring women to the show. And I am always looking for more women because I'm a woman and I love women, and I really honor and value the women's perspective. And often we lose that perspective in the mainstream media, or women are only accepted who fit a very kind of narrow set of roles. And so last week's show, for example, I had Alia talking about feminine medicine and women in the music industry. And it got me inspired, and it really reminded me how passionate I am about empowering women's creativity and their voice. And so I feel like today's show offers a really beautiful segue because today I will be talking to author Lasara Firefox Allen about the different cycles of beginnings, potentials, creation, mastery, and wisdom that a woman goes through in her lifetime. We're basically going to explore Lasara's own kind of 5 archetypes that she's created and talk about what type of goddesses fit into which goddess. And I say the word goddess because we are going to be talking today about Lasara's new book, Jailbreaking the Goddess. And this is really how to begin building relationships with these different archetypes and providing rituals for recognition, transition, and invocation. Lasara Firefox Allen is a family traditions witch, and I love that, and a second-generation ordained pagan priestess. She is a writer, a ritualist. She is a sex-positive activist, a designer, and a facilitator of a wide variety of interactive workshops on identity, sexuality, spirituality, body love, sovereignty, etc. You're going to find out on the show today how to check out her upcoming online symposium about Jailbreaking the Goddess. And one thing that I love is Lasara is all about standing in the shift with people and taking them to the edge of their comfort zones and working with them there until their comfort zone expands. And that is just totally something that I can share in and that I'm also really passionate about. So super excited for today's show, and let's please welcome Lasara Firefox Allen to the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. I'm really looking forward to our conversation. I'm very excited for this. Thanks.
Absolutely. It's great to have you on. And of course, we met through Enchanted Forest Festival last year. And I wanted to ask you, Lasara, this book, Jailbreaking the Goddess, what does that mean?
So some will be familiar with the concept of jailbreaking in like relationship to like your phone, for example. Mm-hmm. You can jailbreak your phone, which means you can basically liberate it from its network, right? So if you have an AT&T, contract and you're like, oh, I want to be able to do these things that are disallowed in that contract, you can jailbreak your phone and you can use your phone in a more flexible way. A lot of people use that as a way to increase the capacity of like their the ways they can use that tool, right? Sure. But to be honest, like the inspiration for the name for me comes from actual jailbreaking, like breaking a person out of prison.
Mm. And would you say that our gender roles and kind of the pressure to be masculine and feminine and all the sexual body and everything that comes with it, it can feel like a prison?
Absolutely. And so it's not, like I like to clarify, it's not I believe that deity and the divine, however we might conceptualize of it, whatever names we might call it by, I believe that the divine is beyond our comprehension. Mm-hmm. As humans, like our comprehension is limited to human reality to a greater or lesser extent, right? Some of us have done a lot of work to kind of move out of that limitation. This book is a tool that can help you to jailbreak your own consciousness so that you can liberate your own concept of the divine, both externally and internally.
I love that. I wanted to, before we really delve into the book, I just wanted to mention in the intro, I talked about you're a pagan priestess and a witch. And I know there's listeners out there that may have never heard those terms kind of used like this. And there probably are many listeners that are very familiar, but could you just briefly describe what it means to be a witch in the context that you're talking about?
Absolutely. So the term witch there are a couple ways that I'd like to talk about it. One is the actual meaning of the word itself comes from a word meaning to shape or bend. So a witch is a person who learns how to consciously shape or bend her own or his own, but I default to the female. So her own reality. And her own intentions. So anyone who does, for example, you may be a witch if you already do manifestation magic, if you already do working with technologies that change your habits, if you work with neurolinguistic programming, that's something, NLP, neurolinguistic programming is something, it's an amazing set of tools that I'm actually a master practitioner.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Yeah. So NLP, I think NLP is like one of the most, actually, honestly, like a really accessible and fantastic and very versatile set of magical tools. Or you can look at it that way. Psychology can be used as a magical tool, cognitive behavioral therapies, all of the different things that we use as ways to do, quote unquote, self-improvement, which is not a term I love, but it gets a point across. I like to think of it more as like holistic tune-ups, upgrading, shifting, changing, rather than, I think we can get really trapped when we start thinking of like improvement and I talk about this in Jailbreaking, actually. The concept of linear improvement is a hierarchical and patriarchal model.
Yes, absolutely. And what we're looking more towards is almost a circular model or a softer, rounder model where we're allowed to kind of ebb and flow. I love that. Well, thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah. One of the things that I love to think about in addition to the idea of circularity is spherical.
Oh, yes.
Spherical reality, so that you have not only like the torus and et cetera, you have not only that circular reality going on where you're creating a flow, but you also have that circle echoing out and circulating back into the center.
That's so great. And I think that for those of us who work with the magical tools of, say, like meditation and energy work and Reiki, that is definitely a big part, at least for me personally, of how I envision my meditation and how I kind of experience my own energy moving through my body. And it's definitely more of a natural flow. And I felt reading the book, I felt that a lot of the concepts that you were addressing, and we'll get into this more after the break too, were really about flow and accepting that flow that's coming from within yourself, rather than allowing kind of like the prison or the stamp or the cage or whatever of what society tells us is right for us to become who we are.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, so, for sure. I mean, so much like, and this is one of the things that I really like to remind us of, and it's a good sort of starting point, is that I talk a lot about women, right? Because it's such an important topic for us to talk about what it means to be women. And I also like to start with like a disclaimer that when I say women, I don't mean all women necessarily. There are always exceptions. And also when I say women are like this, I'm not saying women are like this because of our DNA or that we're born this way or anything like that. I think that it's so important to remember that we're being socialized from the time that literally from the moment that air hits our little tiny baby skin, we are being socialized to become women.
Yes. And this can be, it's interesting. I come from the psychology tradition, and this can be so deeply rooted that we can have a very difficult time picking apart what is our true essence and our true nature, and what is the role that we have strived so hard to become. And, what we're going to do right now, we're going to take a short break. And when we come back here on Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly, we're going to talk a lot more about socialization of gender and kind of what it means to jailbreak ourselves and our inner goddesses with author Lasara Firefox Allen. So stick with us, and we're going to get into it just after the break.
Brand consultant and coach Jen Morgan is here with Radically Distinct Radio to help maximize your brand's power to produce results. Whether you're a person with a dream and unsure where to start, or a CEO of a successful company wondering what's next, Jen Morgan and the RAD method empowers you to play to your strengths and focus your competitive edge so you can show up in the world as your most powerful brand. Go to jenmorgan.com or call 206-972-5366.
Are you and your family looking for one manageable lifestyle change that will positively impact your health? Look no further. That change begins inside your drinking glass. Learn how to put a lid on junk drinking by sipping from a recipe collection of colorful, fresh, tasty, wholesome fruit and vegetable blends. Get your copy now of Sip the Garden. Fun, easy drinks for a healthier family by T. Carey Mitchell. Visit lifestyle120.com for information on how to order.
Are you ready for a game changer? Sarah Westall is bringing you Business Game Changers Radio. Sarah brings you leading experts, visionaries, and newsmakers who provide the best commentary on big issues and cutting-edge innovations. Sarah's 20 years as a business executive will help you think like an entrepreneur with expertise, energy, and attitude. Tune into Business Game Changers Mondays at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Darter.
And I'm Steve Kramer.
Join us on Spirit Fire Radio. Discover how to add the mechanics of meditation to your day.
And watch yourself connect in a whole new way. Find the amazing moments in life's routines that often pass us by. Add to your awareness with Spirit Fire Radio.
Tune in each Wednesday at 9 a.m. for your weekly guide to practical mindfulness. And to learn more, visit www.spiritfireradio.com.
Introducing the Lucid Planet, a digital gathering place featuring cutting-edge, high-vibrational content that will empower and inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. Visit the Lucid Planet today to stimulate your mind, body, and soul as you connect with a global community of like-minded people. The Lucid Planet is edited by renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly Neff, who is here to help you cope with anxiety, connect to your higher purpose, uncover your true passions, and live your dreams. Dr. Kelly's fresh, compassionate perspective emphasizes growth, transformation, healing, and thriving, even in the face of adversity. Say goodbye to bad news and low vibrational media for good and become part of the larger collective of people working together to navigate the global shift of consciousness and transform the world from within. Join the planet, the Lucid Planet. Visit thelucidplanet.com. Welcome home.
1230 WBLQ.
We are back on Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly, and my guest today is Lasara Firefox Allen, who is talking with us about her new book, Jailbreaking the Goddess. We have a lot to get into, but before we do, Lasara, I just want to make sure that everybody knows how to contact you to find out more about your book and also your upcoming workshops, initiation, symposium, etc.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that opportunity. So folks can go and visit my website at lasarafirefoxallen.com. That's lasarafirefoxallen.com. And I invite you, when you do that, you'll see a menu item that says Jailbreaking the Goddess. I invite you to click on that, and you'll see a bunch of fun interactive media options for getting yourself involved in the jailbreak. And so basically I have a quiz up. I'm actually going to be adding another quiz this week. The quiz that's up right now is called Which Goddess Are You? So you'll get to see which of the 5 aspects is your dominant, which may change minute to minute, day to day. And I'll also be adding one about the 5 aspects in leadership, which actually I'm doing a workshop this weekend online on the 5 aspects in leadership. So if folks are interested in seeing how they can call on those 5 aspects to diversify their leadership capacities, you will find copy on that on my website. I'm also offering I offer a 7-month initiation cycle. So if the work really lands for you, if you read the book and you're like, this is fantastic, this is totally revolutionary, this is changing my life, and I really want to go deeper, we have a way to take you there. We create a beautiful, strong container for initiation, and we really spend some time getting to know these aspects in a personal and collective sense.
Wonderful.
And I'll also be offering a symposium in early November, which I don't have the copy up on yet, but it's going to be super exciting with some amazing thought leaders out there who are talking about the feminine divine.
Wonderful. And that's really exciting. I look forward to checking that out. And it's online, so people can access it from anywhere, which I think is really cool.
Yes, literally. I have clients all over the world, and so it's really worked out for me to be primarily online. I also live in a really beautiful rural area, but it makes it so that it's hard for people to get to me. I mean, people can. If people want to work with me one-on-one, I'm definitely available for that. But you got to come to me. And, and it's a lovely trek and totally worth it if you like being out in nature. But for those who don't necessarily have the resources or time or energy, and a lot of my clients are mamas and women and who have a lot going on. So I try to make it accessible.
Absolutely. Well, you guys can find out everything, like Lasara was saying, on her website. So yes. Make sure to check that out. And then you mentioned the 5 aspects and kind of this. I love the which goddess are you? Can we be all of them at different points in time?
Yes. Might actually be all of them all the time. Who knows?
There you go. But I agree that we do kind of tend to have a dominant. But let's take it back a little bit. We're talking about these aspects traditionally, and we were talking about this during the break. The idea of the maiden mother crone has kind of been the model that we've used to describe feminine divinity. And it obviously must have patriarchal roots, I guess, because I've never been comfortable. I've never wanted to be a maiden. I had my uterus taken out. I'm definitely not a mother, and I definitely don't want to be a crone either. And so I have like a visceral, gross reaction to this. And yet I see it adopted by feminists, and I see it like in my tarot deck, this maiden mother crone thing. And I would love to hear from you, Lasara. Why is this model so popular, and what is the alternative to it?
Yeah. Absolutely. So I would say, okay, so to answer the first question, why is it so popular? I would say the primary reason that it's so popular is because before the threefold model, and the threefold model really came into popularity in like the 1920s with the advent of, modern witchcraft. It's not something that echoes back into antiquity. There's a lot of debunking being done right now on the model in the feminist spirituality community.
Sure.
And the reason that I believe the primary or maybe even sole reason that it's so popular is because prior to that, women didn't have access across the board to female images of the divine.
Mm.
Right. So witchcraft, popularizing this maiden mother crone system made it possible for women to see themselves in the divine point blank. And before that, they didn't have that. So a lot of the women who are older, a lot of women who are in their 80s and 70s and 90s are really, our elders. My mom's going to be 80. I was raised in paganism. So,
that's cool.
People in my mom's generation are a lot more attached to the threefold model. I find, not every woman, as I said before, but there is a lot more attachment to this threefold model in my mom's generation than I find in my generation. I think there are a lot of reasons for that too. Some of them are, one, women in my mom's generation really were raised thinking that motherhood was synonymous with womanhood.
Oh, yeah. And that's still around. It's slowly fading. But yeah, that's definitely huge.
Right. And as you know, because you read the book, I focus on that a lot in Jailbreaking the Goddess. I focus on uncoupling the concept of mother as synonymous with, the maturity of being a woman. That we can be women and not be mothers, right? It's basic. Yes. It's like, of course that's true. However, right. And I want to be compassionate and say, we all do this. We all take our spiritual systems and we're like, that doesn't totally align with how I really, really think of it. But if I turn it sideways and I squint my eye a little and then I, say the words backwards, then it makes sense. It's fine,
Mm-hmm.
And we don't need to do that is my point. We don't need to do that. We can do it differently. We can create it the way that we want to create it.
And so the book, obviously, for people out there who really want to learn more about the models, you need to read the book. But I would love to just hear a little bit about what are these 5 different archetypes and how does this allow us to view things like we said at the beginning, instead of linearly, spherically?
Yes, of course. So the 5-fold model is, I want to say a thing about words real quick. One is I use words that are not in our everyday lexicon. I tend to, when I'm trying to, and goes back to neurolinguistic programming. We talked about that a little bit. I'm trained in neurolinguistic programming, and so I integrate that into my text. And so when you're reading the work that I write, you're actually experiencing a process of deprogramming.
Yes.
So one of the things that I do is I work with words that people aren't necessarily off the bat familiar with. And the reason is because I want to cause an interruption so that you can actually have your own thought about it. Right?
Yeah.
So, for example,
I'm going to have to do a show on neurolinguistic programming soon.
Well, I'd love to come back for that one too. Yeah. I'm so passionate about it. I love it, love it, love it.
Sure.
So one, I would like to actually do an exercise with you and the audience for a moment, and that is to say, okay, you've used the word feminine. I've used the word feminine. People probably aren't super familiar with that term. I use the word feminine instead of feminine, right?
Yeah.
So when I say the word feminine, what comes to mind?
Girly, prissy, pretty, very mothery. I have lots of words in my mind.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So when I say the word feminine,
that's how harder you think of women, but that there isn't a specific kind of association that pops up.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I want. That's what I'm trying to offer all of us, is the opportunity to not be bombarded with a bunch of programming around what it means to be a woman.
Yep.
So, and I know we have to take another break. So, the 5, I'll give the names of the 5-fold, and then we can come back to it after the break.
Yes.
Maybe. So
that sounds perfect.
So the names that I settled on are Femella, which means girl.
Okay.
Potens, which means basically powerful, potential, promise, bursting forth. I think of her like the leaf popping out of the branch. Creatrix, which means creator.
Yes.
Sapientia, which right. And so I want to say about creatrix real quick. Creatrix is like any kind of creation. It's not just childbirth, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, and then we have sapientia. That's like sapience.
Yes.
Right. So it's knowledge, awareness, cognition. She's like the judge. She's the scientist. She's the politician. Like she's the powerful woman standing at the head of her field, right?
Yeah.
Then we have Antiqua, and Antiqua means ancient woman. It's the old lady.
But not a crone. Right.
And so, the crone can potentially fall in 2 or more of these aspects. The crone is the cool thing, and we'll get into it when we come back, but the flexibility of this model is that you get to decide.
Yes. So stick with us, and we'll be right back after the break to talk more about this amazing model and figure out which goddess are you here on Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly and Lasara Firefox Allen.
You should have seen by the look in my eyes, baby.
Hi, I'm Tim Darter.
And I'm Steve Kramer.
Join us on Spirit Fire Radio. Discover how to add the mechanics of meditation to your day.
And watch yourself connect in a whole new way. Find the amazing moments in life's routines that often pass us by. Add to your awareness with Spirit Fire Radio.
Tune in each Wednesday at 9 a.m. for your weekly guide to practical mindfulness. And to learn more, visit www.spiritfireradio.com.
Introducing the Lucid Planet, a digital gathering place featuring cutting-edge, high-vibrational content that will empower and inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. Visit the Lucid Planet today to stimulate your mind, body, and soul as you connect with a global community of like-minded people. The Lucid Planet is edited by renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly Neff, who is here to help you cope with anxiety, connect to your higher purpose, uncover your true passions, and live your dreams. Dr. Kelly's fresh, compassionate perspective emphasizes growth, transformation, healing, and thriving, even in the face of adversity. Say goodbye to bad news and low vibrational media for good and become part of the larger collective of people working together to navigate the global shift of consciousness and transform the world from within. Join the planet, the Lucid Planet. Visit thelucidplanet.com.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days, because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Artie Hoffman is the hottest psychic with the warmest heart and the host of the hit show Angels and Answers. A renowned psychic, medium, spiritual life coach, and an entertaining motivational speaker, Artie has helped over 15,000 people with his amazing intuitive gifts, his passion, and his humor. Call 877-ANGEL-02 to schedule a personal reading or to have your own psychic Artie party. That's 877-ANGEL-02. And visit artiehoffman.com and Angels and Answers on Facebook.
Tune in to The Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JenRoyster.com for more information.
We are back on Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly, and I have author Lasara Firefox Allen here talking about her new book, Jailbreaking the Goddess. And before we took a break, Lasara introduced these 5 archetypes of the goddess, which are kind of an alternative model to the mother, maiden, crone that we've been seeing, throughout kind of our own history of representing the feminine divine. And I guess, Lasara, what I wanted to address, and gosh, we've been having we're just in the break just talking about neurolinguistic programming and kind of, I guess my question is, for people who, what is the benefit of this model for people who either feel like they don't fit in to a certain type of model, or for people who feel like they need something that's more gender neutral? Can you explain how this kind of can be different for everyone?
Absolutely. So I was ordained in the church that I basically grew up in. I was ordained at 29. I started seeking ordination at 19. I have children. I'm also queer identified and have not necessarily existed in, comfortably in the gender binary of, the default languaging of male, female, masculine, feminine, etc. And when that overlay comes into contact with spirituality, it gets reinforced in my opinion, in my experience, it gets reinforced in this really intense way, because all of a sudden you're dealing with religious and spiritual dogma, right? Not just sociological models, which are already a lot, right? Mm-hmm. But then you have this religious and spiritual dogmatic element where people are this is, and you're familiar with the sex magic and those concepts. So especially you see it in those arenas too. You see a lot of this default male, female, masculine, feminine in paganism or, witchcraft. There's a thing called the Great Rite, which is an act of magic. And it's basically a metaphor for, or in some cases, actual sex. And so that being an element of, and all of this is so important, right? It's so important that we redeem our sexuality through spiritual frames that are positive and healthy.
Yes. This is something that I'm yes.
So important.
So important.
However, when we then take that and create a new dogma that excludes, a number of people from our community, then I feel like we're missing the mark.
Yeah.
Right. And so as a queer person, as a person who does not, as I said, does not necessarily exist in this really, prosaic, gender binary, I felt uncomfortable. Like you were saying earlier, it's just it's a yucky feeling to try and be smashed into a box that just does not fit. And so I felt uncomfortable with the maiden, mother, crone system. And listening to my community as a clergy member, as a support person, as a coach. I have an active coaching practice. I work with people inside and outside the pagan community. But a lot of people who are into goddess spirituality are, my client base is mostly, witches and et cetera. And so what I've heard over the years, and I'm 45, I have some miles under my wheels. So what I've heard, what I've seen reflected back to me is a mirroring of that same discomfort of feeling left outside, feeling not included. And so it was essential to me that the model that we arrive at accommodate, that it be an inclusive space.
And I think that it is. I guess I'm wondering, looking at this, and for our listeners out there, how do they know where they stand? Like, which goddess do they embody? How do they know? I know you said that there's a quiz, but
there is a quiz, and you know, if you read the book, should you read the book, you will, you know, experience a sense of being drawn more to one aspect than another, almost certainly. I also think, though, that it's important not to get stuck in, like, what is my dominant mode, but, like, to be able to look at how do I balance these different aspects? Where is it appropriate for me to be pulling in this? You know, if I'm using it as a spiritual model, where do I call, or, you know, for me, this is another kind of reframe, to use a NLP term, but for me, I don't really call on the deities and say, hey, help me out, or ask for something. But instead, like when I was writing the book, I would get myself ready to start writing, and I'd be like, okay, I'm here. Like, what can I do for you?
Yeah.
Let me know what you need from me now. And then the whole act of writing the book was a devotion.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I think as you read the book, definitely notice what aspects you're drawn to. And should you want to really experience what it can mean to deepen those relationships, enter into the initiation cycle with me, and you'll experience it. The cool thing about doing group work, and I'm sure you feel the same way, you know, the cool thing about doing group work is that all of a sudden we have all of these diverse experiences that we get to witness, and it really enriches our experience of the different aspects. So one of the things, just to say about the flexibility and inclusion of the model, is if you don't have a uterus, you're still included, because the threefold model is uterine, right? The threefold model is uterine based.
Totally.
And so because it's uterine based, it is not self-defining.
Yeah. And, you know, it's funny you say that, because ever since I had my uterus taken out, I had so many problems, and I almost died. I had a near-death experience, and like coming out of that, I feel so much more of a woman not having the uterus. And so that's what you said, like, it's not self-defining. So for me, it's like, actually that model felt so wrong. And then now where I'm at, I'm like, okay, I feel so much more creative. I feel so much more connected. And yet there doesn't seem to be any framework for that whatsoever. And even a lot of the goddess stuff, and even a lot of the sacred sexuality stuff that I'm really into, still kind of talks like the uterus is the portal through which you access your sacred sexuality. And I'm just like, actually, no, it's not, just to be clear.
You're like,
maybe, no,
not the case. And, you know, and for some women, and I want to say, like, if, you know, if your uterus is your focus, you know, excellent, that, you know, we need all of it. We need to heal our relationships with our bodies. If body positivity is your focus, excellent. If wearing if being in your actual body and wearing a bikini is your revolution, do it. You know, if wearing a burqa is your revolution, do it. You know, my whole thing is, like, we all attain our own liberation through our own portals, like our own doorways. There's no one size fits all solution. I think the best thing we can do, and this is another theme in Jailbreaking the Goddess, really, really focusing on collective liberation and kind of breaking out of this Americanist obsession with our own individualist, success as metaphor for enlightenment.
Well, and you know, I'm glad you brought that up, because there is such a thing to be said for, oh, well, we can all be together and believe in something because our genitals look exactly the same, or our internal, and it's like, no, this is not, that's not really what it's about at all. And I don't know, I like this model because I do feel like it is inclusive even to people who don't fit the non-binary, or who don't fit the binary gender. Right. And I also wanted to remind very quickly, while we're on the topic, our listeners, if you believe in women's equality and the right for women to embrace and express their body love without it being a sexual thing, please come join me on Sunday at the Denver Topless March. There's going to be thousands of people gathering and marching through Denver topless in honor of the fact that, Denver is one of the few cities in America where women's being topless is not illegal. It's actually legal so long as you're not behaving in what is a, quote, a sexual manner, which I'm not exactly sure what that means. Right. But yeah, I'm going to be down there. A bunch of us are going to be down there. I feel really strongly about this topic that, my nipples are not illegal. If a man's are not illegal, and that doesn't give you the right to sexualize or objectify me or rape me or assault me just because like my breasts are exposed and it's my choice to do that. And essentially by refusing to objectify ourselves, that's where the problem lies with society's feelings about our bodies. And it's so interesting. So there's going to be, several thousand people down there at Denver. I believe it's meeting at Civic Center Park, but you can just type it into Facebook and get the event, Denver Topless March, Sunday, August 28th. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, that's fabulous. It's so funny. Like I'm a naked person. I don't like calling myself a nudist because it has all these other overlays, but I'm a naked person. And so I'm like naked in my house all the time. And I have plants out on my front walkway. And just recently I've been like, dude, I don't need to put a shirt on to go out and water my own plants. I'm going to go water my sage topless. I'm doing it.
Yay.
Okay.
That is such a pagan thing to say. No, I'm just kidding. I love that. Anyway, on that note, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to wrap up the show about Jailbreaking the Goddess and the 5 archetypes of the feminine divine with Lasara Firefox Allen. So stick with us, and we're going to be right back.
Walk out on me tonight if you think that it ain't feeling right.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Artie Hoffman is the hottest psychic with the warmest heart and the host of the hit show Angels and Answers. A renowned psychic, medium, spiritual life coach, and an entertaining motivational speaker, Artie has helped over 15,000 people with his amazing intuitive gifts, his passion, and his humor. Call 877-ANGEL-02 to schedule a personal reading or to have your own psychic Artie party. That's 877-ANGEL-02. And visit artiehoffman.com and Angels and Answers on Facebook.
Tune in to The Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JenRoyster.com for more information.
Introducing the Lucid Planet, a digital gathering place featuring cutting-edge, high-vibrational content that will empower and inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. Visit the Lucid Planet today to stimulate your mind, body, and soul as you connect with a global community of like-minded people. The Lucid Planet is edited by renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly Neff, who is here to help you cope with anxiety, connect to your higher purpose, uncover your true passions, and live your dreams. Dr. Kelly's fresh, compassionate perspective emphasizes growth, transformation, healing, and thriving, even in the face of adversity. Say goodbye to bad news and low vibrational media for good and become part of the larger collective of people working together to navigate the global shift of consciousness and transform the world from within. Join the planet, the Lucid Planet. Visit thelucidplanet.com. Welcome home.
Transformation Talk Radio is dedicated to the education and awareness of Lyme disease.
Welcome to Lyme Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Pat Basile, the host of the Dr. Pat Show, and I am so thrilled that we've created this venue for all of you out there.
Dr. Pat Basile will be bringing the most innovative, groundbreaking information, research, treatment innovations, and stories from those it affects every day.
what we have heard is that you want to ensure for us that we keep positive, holistic, uplifting, transformative talk radio on the air. We're excited to bring you the contemporary conversations about Lyme disease.
We promise not to let the light fade on Lyme.
So fasten your seatbelts. We've got lots more to share with you in the weeks to come.
Tune into Lyme Talk Radio with Dr. Pat and help keep our mission strong on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
1230 WPLQ.
Welcome back to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly, and I am here with Lasara Firefox Allen talking about her new book, Jailbreaking the Goddess, as well as the movement for the acceptance of kind of feminine, divine, and gender diversity and all these great things. And of course, it's gone by so fast, hasn't it, Lasara?
It has. It's been so fast. It's been awesome.
Totally awesome. Yeah, I've loved having you on. And I thought maybe we could talk for the end of the show about the future a little bit and kind of where we're heading, you personally, but also this movement and your advice to help everyday people promote this greater acceptance for feminine and gender diversity, as well as advice for them to engage in social justice work, even when they might be limited by time or finances or ability.
Yeah, that's such an important question. Thank you. That last one, especially about the question of, how can we engage in social justice work when time and resources and, finances are limited? So important. The fact of the matter is, social justice is about, marginalized folks gaining gaining the standing, ideally, ultimately, of those who are not marginalized. So, and we were just talking on the break about how, male is the default. Experts are males, are experts.
Yes.
And so women are marginalized. Women of color are more marginalized than white women. Women of color who are trans are more marginal. They're like the most marginalized. They're the most women of color who are trans are the most at risk, literally the most at risk of any demographic in our country.
Yes.
So it's important to take into account, like, social justice, real feet on the ground social justice work, in my opinion, has to do with recognizing our areas of marginalization and doing what we can to improve them, not just for us, again, not just for me, but in a collectivist sense. I actually wrote an article about this that was published. Yeah, it was published on Lou Allen's website, the publisher of Jailbreaking the Goddess. They published it during launch week. So I will send you that link. One of the things that I think is really important to think about is, like, where are the areas where your life is feeling like out of control or like you need help or support? For a lot of women, like I work with a lot of my clients are moms.
Yeah.
And so, like, right now we're looking at back to school. We're looking at how do you finance that $500, back to school bill that, of like all your kids' extra needs for the month of August. It's historically a rough month for me financially because my clients are all tapped out. So in what ways can we lighten that load? So if you're experiencing that hardship, other people are also experiencing it. So one of the things that I suggest is, like, what about timeshare collectives? What about resource collectives? What about doing, maybe not fundraising, but resource raising? What if you could go to each business in your community and say, look, there are 500 moms in this area who are low income, or whatever the number is in your community, in your neighborhood. And we need to come up with solutions for making sure that all kids have pencils and notebooks and et cetera. Can you help us? Right. Yeah. Locally owned businesses are often going to be able to help you. Sometimes Rite Aid can help you. Sometimes you go to, the local real estate office and they're like, you know what? I just ordered 500 pencils with my name on them. You can have 50 of them.
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you have 50 kids who have at least one pencil. It makes a difference. It makes a difference. Every little bit makes a difference.
Yep.
So where are the areas, growing food, grow your own food, share it out. If you can grow in a collective plot, then you are contributing to your community's well-being. Food insecurity is a massive thing in our country. We like to think it's not, but food insecurity is massive. Yep. So what can we do to shift that? For me, that's real social justice work. That's real feet on the ground social justice work. Food, school supplies,
absolutely.
Making sure kids have clothes.
Have you seen, the name is escaping me, but these, it's popping up all over the country where people will put like an old dresser or cabinet in the street.
Yeah.
It's do you know if there's a name for it?
There is, and I just saw a video on it recently.
Me too.
It's called Community Cupboard.
Yeah, okay, that could be a community cupboard.
I think that's what it's called.
If you haven't heard it, basically it's the idea of people in their neighborhoods just setting up a cupboard outside and putting extra stuff that they don't need in it for the community. It's a gifting thing. And so if you have extra diapers, or like you said, extra school supplies or extra food that you grew or that you bought that you're not going to use, you put it in the cupboard and then the person who needs it can come and take it. And it's the idea of people aren't going to just take what they don't need and go sell it or anything like that, because it's not stuff that's going to make you like a lot of money. It's not like about, it's really an honor system thing to help people just kind of like help each other out. Because like, don't you feel terrible? Like I feel so bad if I have extra food and I have to throw it out because I didn't eat it. It's like I don't know. I literally like freak out. Like it's the worst thing ever, so if you in your community, if you want to get involved, that's a really easy thing. Take an old crappy IKEA cupboard that you don't need and just put it outside and put some stuff in it. And it's amazing how the tiniest little things that we do to pay it forward can have massive ripple effects and even come back around, and it feels good,
Absolutely.
Another thing that I do is I make little bags of stuff particularly for women who are homeless, to give to them. A little bag with some, like sanitary napkins and some soap and socks and little things that, because it's particularly difficult being a female and living on the street. And in Denver, a lot of people have been displaced recently because of the new laws that the city's passed, just making it harder and harder for people to even be homeless or even get shelters. So little things like that. Yeah,
for sure. Like and having like a little, a little box of supplies in the back of your car and being able to just go and offer that to someone is like, it's relatively easy. When you're shopping, you buy an extra thing. And for me, one of the things, I do a lot of this kind of thing. And one of the things that, check in with your personal values. For me, one of the things is I understand what it's like to be on the streets, and I'm not going to judge people for using substances when they're on the streets. And that, basically makes a lot of people ineligible for services if they're using substances. So I will find those folks particularly and say, hey, what can I do for you? What do you need? One of the things that I really encourage too, if you're really engaging with this, is like to not look at it as, we have a lot of weird overlays around charity work and whatnot. So like really look at it as community building.
Yes, I like that.
And really go and engage and ask like, can I sit with you for a while? Can I eat with you? Can I like, let me get you a 6-pack? Let me get you a beer. It's fine.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. Wow, we're like almost out of time, but very quickly, Lasara, tell us what's in store for you in the future. Will you be doing a follow-up to Jailbreaking the Goddess?
Well, I'm actually going to be releasing a workbook, a printed workbook and an electronic copy. So that'll be sometime in the month of September. My team and I will be releasing workbooks to go along with Jailbreaking, which is really exciting. We are also, like I said, going to be producing a symposium, an online symposium with some amazing guests who will be speaking about their experiences with jailbreaking and how it relates to their work. I will be doing the 7-month initiation cycle. I do coaching, one-on-one coaching with folks, and I do courses online. So come and find me, and let's see how I can serve you.
Awesome. Well, Lasara, it's been so great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for sharing such great information with us today.
It's been a pleasure. It's been really a delight.
Absolutely. And I'd love to have you on in the future to talk more about this topic, as well as NLP and some other stuff. So let's get that on the calendar.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Excellent.
Cool. And, thank you as well to everybody who tunes in today and every week. Remember, you can always join us Wednesdays, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Mountain, 2 p.m. Pacific, and find out more about me and the show at thelucidplanet.com, as well as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, The Lucid Planet, and download all of our shows on iTunes by typing in Lucid Planet Radio. Next week, I am welcoming Carl-Johan Kalaman, who is going to be here talking about something completely different, which is the global mind and the rise of civilization. So if you're into history and human evolution and the evolution of consciousness, this is going to be a really cool show to tune into. So light and love and good vibes, and I will see you next week. Take care.
You've been listening to the hit show, Lucid Planet Radio, with renowned psychologist and author, Dr. Kelly Neff. Tune in each week as we illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. This hit show will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake up to the greatest version of yourself. Learn how to navigate the global shift of consciousness as you explore the deeper knowledge, passion, and purpose within. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for upcoming show topics and to contact Dr. Kelly.